everyone, I'm on my way to the London Stadium for a Q&A session in the Great Britain Lounge, which I've not been in, for a Q&A session with Mark Noble, David Moyes and Carlton Cole. I say a Q&A session, the last one I went to of these, we weren't allowed to ask any of our own questions. It was just a case of they asked the questions and we listened. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully try and record a few bits while I'm in there, and hopefully there's something interesting to tell everyone. All right, thanks guys. Okay, I'm now back from the London Stadium. There was a Q&A, as I've said before, with Carlton Cole, Mark Noble and David Moyes. Carlton Cole was on his own at first. Great character, as we all know. Made many jokes about actually not being any good, which got quite a laugh. No, brilliant. It's nice to see him, and I think that's why West Ham got Carlton there, because he's a likeable character. But the main focus is obviously around David Moyes and Mark Noble. I am going to actually show you what happened during the Q&A after this, so you can watch it if you're interested. But my summary of the evening, Mark Noble joked straight away as soon as he walked in about he wouldn't fight with anyone, and made reference to it another time during the night. So I think he just thought it's best to get it over and done with. Obviously there were no questions regarding that. That was never going to happen. Yeah, my thoughts are, though, I can't help but feel that everyone is telling everyone's being on the same page when it comes to supporting the team, and not having any negativity. Clearly Carlton Cole has been primed, and I believe that Mark Noble and David Moyes have been told the same thing, and you know, they probably genuinely believe it, and therefore great. But you know, you just get this feeling that everyone's trying to say that we must support the team, no negativity. And you know what, I'm in agreement. Our next game against Southampton is absolutely huge, and we all need to be behind the team, but I think we always have been, and it's frustrating when people seem to question that. I don't think any of the protests or any of the anger has ever been aimed at the players. Yeah, we get frustrated at times when they don't look like they're bothering, but actually it's all at the board. So anyway, there was a few questions regarding the league position, and you know, and basically they're all saying the same thing. We all need to get behind them, and how much of an difference the fans make. So that was quite a focus. My other thing that I thought was interesting is David Moyes was asked about Arnautovic and what has he done to change him, basically. What did he say to him? And he said exactly the same thing that he'd said when he first joined, that if you don't run, you won't play. The interesting point from my point of view was that he actually said basically that the squad's a bit small at the moment, and otherwise there probably would have been a few more that would be dropped for the not running. My mind, that's probably Kouyaté that he's referring to, but you know, there could be a few more, so that's an interesting thought. He said that Arthur will be back in the team against Southampton, and how that we've really missed him. But again, I quite like listening to Moyes, because I think I don't know, I didn't want him there, but I respect him. He said that, you know, we miss him massively. He's a great asset, but at times he doesn't actually have the essentially doesn't have the end product, and that's exactly what I've been saying all the time. But he did say what he's brilliant at is getting down the other end of the pitch quickly. Just hopefully there's a bit more of an end product. A few other things that were discussed. Mark Noble on wanting to manage West Ham United one day. Crazy. Mark also talked about the Payet situation, which was quite interesting. And also David Moyes on wanting to stay in the manager's job at West Ham. And also Moyes discussed Declan Rice and Josh Cullen. It's quite clear to see that he believes that Declan Rice has a future. Not so sure about Josh Cullen though, if I'm being honest. And I think probably if you ask most West Ham fans, they're unsure. But I think, you know, it's probably because we haven't actually seen too much of Josh. But the impression I got from Moyes is that he rates Rice, but isn't sure Josh is ready yet. So anyway, yeah, as I said, here is the full video if you want to watch it. It's not the whole thing. I think there's a couple of bits cut out, and I'm really sorry, at one point there's a video being shown and I can't see it because some annoying person's standing in the way. But anyway, yeah, here you go. Thanks for watching.
Carlton Cole. Welcome, Carl. Got a tie on hard day in the office?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was.
Last time we met, we were doing Watch With, that went fairly viral. In that, you kind of buried your time in Indonesia and Nigel Rio-Coker. I just wondered if you had a text from Nigel, whether he's been in touch?
No, Nigel's he's out there just trying his luck still, so hopefully he'll come back with good stories to tell me, but I doubt it.
Right, we've got one question here that we'll kick off with. It's from Vicky, Jill and Lisa. Did we get a wave? There we go. Hello. Your question was, Carlton, are you fit and can you play? We miss you.
I'm fit, but I can't play. I could never play anyway. Yeah, I'm fit, but I'm not in that frame of mind to play again. And I think I'm gonna hand it off. So it's exclusive, by the way.
Anton Ferdinand was trying to get you going to Southend. That didn't work out.
Yeah, he did, but it was one of those ones. Didn't really fancy the battle of running against these young kids. I went training with them a couple of times, and it was very tiring for me. When you see these kids that you knew that you're faster than when I was like 5 years before I was cooking in them, and then now they're cooking in me. It's not really good for your confidence. So I'm going to hang up with you.
And it must be hard, like playing for a Premier League football club and then having to go down to Southend and suddenly it's wet and cold and you're thinking, I don't need this.
Not really. I don't like it. I love playing football, but not being outshone by young boys like that. It's just heart-wrenching.
Movie stars coming to games.
Yeah, he used to drop a name or two. You know what I mean? I used to see some guys just walking in the change rooms. I don't know much about movies and all that, but people go, oh, what's his name? So I was like, I don't even know who he is really, so it didn't really bother me. But yeah, he was really a big with the celebrities, to be honest. Yeah.
In 2011 or so, that was the moment we got relegated, and the decision comes, are you going to stay, take a pay cut, or leave and retain Premier League football? And famously, of course, you stayed, took a pay cut. Probably one of the many reasons that how tough a decision was that for you?
It wasn't a tough decision. I felt I hadn't done enough that season. Although I think I had my best goal scoring season that season, but it just wasn't enough in the Premier League for us to stay up. So I felt I needed to stay and at least stay and try and do something to help the club. I did have options to leave, but just didn't sit right with me, so I just thought I'd just stay. It wasn't nothing to do with the money at the time, it was just something to do with how I've been brought up, and I spoke to my family said it's the right thing to do, and you'll come back.
And then quite a few people kind of asking this.
In my opinion, I think we'll be fine. That's the truth. I wouldn't say it, I didn't think that. I think we've got the players and in the team to be able to get out of the situation we're in. I think there's 7 or 8 clubs probably in a similar situation, 1 or 2 wins is. But what I will say is that I think that as a football club, I think we all feel like, and I'm putting myself in this situation as well, I think we all feel like angry at points and upset. But what I would ask is if we could put all that behind us until the season's finished and get behind the manager and the players. And I really, really do think we can have a good end to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. David, obviously much has been made of the atmosphere at the London Stadium, but I wondered how important a role do the fans have in lifting the players through to the end of the season?
Well, the supporters are what make the football club, and I played against West Ham and didn't manage them, and I've got to say, when it was at Upton Park, it was an incredible atmosphere. We used to go there, and there was always a fear of going to Upton Park, what it meant, how tough it was, and But I've got to say, since I've come to the London Stadium, everybody told me it's not been the same. I remember Leicester City on the Friday night. I thought it was a fantastic atmosphere here at Leicester City on the Friday night. Then the next league game, we done really well in it as well, and I thought it was a great atmosphere. We had, I think it was Chelsea, then we went on to Arsenal. And I actually was saying, I don't really know what people are talking about here, it seems great to me. I can understand maybe the viewings, maybe not exactly what everybody would have wanted, but I've got to say that the atmosphere wasn't in question, and I've got to say I thought the supporters were right behind the team.
David, again, look, we've got a question here from Peter Hubble. He says, looking back at that, your time with Everton, do you feel that the building blocks are in place here with West Ham to enable you to repeat the kind of impressive achievements you achieved there?
Well, there's more in place here at West Ham than there was at Everton, because you have a stadium, you've already got a training ground, you've got players in place, and I think they're more established, not more established than Everton, because Everton were very established, but Everton were a team who were very close to the bottom of the league in relegation at the time. I think West Ham are better than that, and I think that there's so much more in place here for West Ham to grow and get better.
Mark, question for you. This one's from Bud Hedges and Lance Hedges. Great couple of names, Bud and Lance. Assuming we stay up, what is the biggest reason to be optimistic for the 18-19 season?
I think this, to be honest, I think with a new manager and the ideas of what we went for a stage where it was 9 games, I think, unbeaten, or maybe one loss in that. But we have to move on from this season, especially because obviously we've had Slaven be sacked. We've had a tough time at the stadium. We've had a lot of people been upset. And as the boss said, there's been games this year where the atmosphere at this stadium has been incredible. And please believe me, we feel that when we're on the pitch. But I think with West Ham as a club as it is the minute, we need to have a fresh start, a fresh pre-season. As I said, survive this season, make sure we're in this league, and next year have a really, really good pre-season and start. Probably try and, because look, listen, we all loved Upton Park. I mean, I loved it more than anyone else. Please believe me, when you're out on that pitch, it was fantastic. But that's a block of flats now. I know it's sad to say that, but it is. And we ain't going back there. And so we need to make this place home. And it's going to take years. I think we said that from the start. It will take years. But at some point, we are going to have to accept it. And in my opinion, the only way we do that is winning football matches. So that's on our heads, and obviously the manager's head of the football club now, because in this day and age they don't last long. But I'm only speaking the truth. I mean, I think 9 managers have been sacked already this year in the Premier League. So, but as I said, and the gaffer means that, because we've spoken before, that the club is such a fantastic football club, and we love it because it's West Ham United. But there has to be some changes, and hopefully we can get through this year, and we can have a fresh start in the next season. And I'm really optimistic that we can do really well.
Have the fans lifted you here at London Stadium? I know there was that game against Chelsea earlier this year. Have you felt that the West Ham fans getting behind you here as a player?
Yeah, of course. There's been many games where it's been fantastic. I mean, look, 60,000 fans when they let their voices be heard, it's incredible. When I don't know which game it was, but they were banging the seats and you could feel it on the pitch. It was incredible. But as you say, winning football matches, that's what that does for a football club. And when you don't, and when there's a small minority that come to the stadium and they're not happy, they want to have their opinion, that's when it's really going to really show up. It makes me really sad, because I know what a great club West Ham is, and to see us on the back page of every paper in the country, as well as my face looking really angry, proud. Yeah, I hope they won't talk about me then. But it makes me sad, because I know what a family club this is and what a fantastic club it is. I've spent my whole career here, so if there's anyone that knows, it's me. So we need get rid of that label and become that club that we was again.
David, question for you from John Pritchard. He says, can I ask you, what did you say to Marko Arnautovic to suddenly get this fantastic format? And thank you.
I can tell you that, but I'm not allowed to swear.
Well, I remember when we came in, I think it was after we beat Chelsea, I said to the players, I says, what do you think the supporters are cheering for and clapping you, chanting your name and singing? I said, because you're running around. And really that's what we said to Marko. We said to Marko, if you don't run, Marko, then we don't play you. And before we came in, we'd watched quite a few of the games and looked at the tapes and saw a few situations. We told the boys, said, if you don't run around, we just simply won't play you. At the moment, we're a little bit short of players, but I can't quite say that, or I might be a few others dropped at the moment. But the fact of the matter is, at the start was Marko wasn't running. But see now, Marko is, up until probably about 2 weeks ago, Marko had the highest number of sprints in any game by any player in the Premier League over the last 3 or 4 weeks, or the 3 or 4 weeks prior to the last 2 weeks. And to change that from where he was tells you where he was. But I've got to say, he's done great for us. It's a wee bit of a talisman for us at the moment, we need him. And even last week against Burnley, we've got a great chance to go 1-0 up. Then with a chance by Lanzini as well, we don't score. So we've really needed Marko's goal, so important for us. And his all-round play has been incredible. And more importantly for me, his effort's been incredible. And if he gives his effort, I think any supporter at any club will appreciate it and get behind the players in their team and see the effort.
You've got the West Ham manager beside you, Mark, but a man named Mike has asked this question. Do you ever see yourself as West Ham manager once your playing days are over?
What do you think, boss?
It's got a long way to go.
You never know in football. As I said, managers don't really last long these days, so you never know. But would I love to do it? Of course I would. I mean, I grew up with this club. I've done everything else with it, so I might as well be a manager as well. But listen, look, when I was a kid, I dreamed of playing for West Ham. When I become a West Ham player, I dreamed of becoming the West Ham captain. Now I'm West Ham captain, I dream of just staying up this year, to be honest. No, in all honesty, of course I would. I'd love to one day, but that's a long way down the line yet, and my job is obviously to support the manager now and try and get the best out of the players we've got. As the manager said, we've had a lot of injuries, we ain't got a lot to pick from at the minute, so we need every player, and as the boss said, we need everyone running and playing to their maximum, and if we do that, I'm pretty sure we'll be fine.
On that note, Dave, what's the reaction been like from the players since the last game?
Well, we were all incredibly disappointed because we knew the importance of the game. And I think that, as I sort of alluded to there, I think the first half we could have got a couple of goals up at half time, but we didn't. And when we went 1-0 down, it sort of changed for us really quickly. It just looked as if we weren't going to be able to get back in the game. So that was disappointing because we've got to make sure that doesn't happen. We've got to make sure if we do go 1-0 down, we're still in the game, and even if it means going to the last minute to get something out of it. So we have to look at that, and we'll be talking about it and trying to make sure that doesn't happen. But I've got to say, overall, the players have been fantastic. They've been great since I've come in. The players have been terrific. No complaints. They've been told a few times. They know exactly what I want. They know what we need to do. I think we're more than capable of being a Premier League team, but we've got to prove it. And we can talk about it a lot, but we've got to make sure that we get the points and the wins to go with it.
Absolutely. Got a question here from Michael Izzard. He says, Mark, have you started working on your autobiography yet? Would imagine you have some interesting stories to tell during your time at the club.
Yeah, but a lot of them couldn't be made public, to be honest. That's the hardest thing. I've been asked 2 or 3 times if I want to do a book, and obviously I've got some fantastic times to tell and some disappointing times, but we've all been through them together, so I'm sure you know how I felt at times. But some of the greatest stories are not for public. complication, to be honest, because I'd probably end up in jail.
David, we've got a question here from Ian. He says, will King Arthur go straight back into the team, shortly?
Yeah.
I presume it's after Masuaku.
We could do a King Arthur.
Yeah. We've missed Arthur, and when you think Arthur been out for, well, it was supposed to be 6 games. It's felt like 6 months really since he's been out. But just a call tonight from Arthur to say that he might be getting called up, and I was hoping he would play tomorrow night at Dagenham, but it looks like he might end up getting a call for the Congo. I think he will have to go to play for the Congo, which would be disappointing for us because we're desperate to keep him and get him match ready for the weekend as well. But we've missed him because he's given us a little bit of something different. I actually thought that some of the games he's played, he hasn't been creative enough in as much as he hasn't made us a goal or scored us a goal. But I think what he does do is he can get us from one end of the pitch to the other in no time at all. And it's given us that fear of his pace and his speed, which we've missed in the last month or so.
Mark had a question from Martin Cullen, who says, are you happy with your FIFA 18 rating?
Well, to be honest, my son tells me I'm rubbish, so I don't play it, but he plays with me sometimes and he says I'm rubbish. But to be honest, compared to some of the boys that play that FIFA game, I should be rubbish with Salas, and I think the top boys now are fantastic on there. So yeah, I'm happy as if everyone else is.
And David, a question from Kelly Beery. She says, when are you going to put a bid in for Mo Salah?
Well, we need to look towards next year and see exactly what players we can get and actually score as well. But I don't know one will be Mo Salah, that's for sure. Hopefully.
Mark, question from Jake Sussex. He says, who's the best player you've played with?
Can I name more than one?
Yeah.
Alright. The first player that when I first come into the team was Teddy Sheringham, because he made me appreciate when you play into the front man where you got the ball back. He would literally try and pass it onto the 90 on your boot. It was that much precision. And then Carlos Tevez was, I think we'd all agree that he was one of the best we've ever seen, right? He was a special player for us that year, and I'll never forget, he set up all 5 of my goals that year and asked me for some money. And then he got signed for Man United and never spoke to me again. And then I know you'll probably get booed here, but Dimitri Payet was very special. I'm sure he'd agree with all the stuff went on with Dimmy that season he gave us in the last season in the Bowling was pretty special, and he done some special things on the pitch.
What happened with Dimitri Payet there? Like in training, was his head gone? Like, cause I understood he was like a bit one of the lads essentially.
Do you know what? It was fantastic for that season. He was brilliant in the change room, really funny. And then, to be honest, I've never judged because I don't know what happened with his family. I don't know. But he come back. I mean, I remember celebrating his goal for France. I mean, I've never celebrated a French goal in my life. I remember celebrating his goal against Romania in the Euros. I was in Portugal, and I was just so happy for him. I was buzzing because he was one of us. And then he come back and he scored a fantastic goal against Middlesbrough, I think. And then he went away with France, come back, and literally just switched himself off from everyone. And we would talk, me and Dimmy would have a lot of banter on the phones and all that, and then I just think his head was turned and he wanted to go home to France, and that was it. And it was a really, really tough situation for the team because you had a lot of the sort of French players that looked up to Dimmy, and Dimmy just didn't train the way he could or didn't want to train the way he could, and they sort of started to follow him the way he was. And then obviously the club had to make a decision to either keep him on or sell him, and made a decision to sell him.
David, we've seen a few youngsters make their way into the first team this year, Josh Cullen, Declan Rice. How pleased have you been with their progress this year?
Well, I've seen more of Declan because he's been with us all year. I hadn't seen so much of Josh up until January when we brought him back. But I've got to say Declan's done really well. To be a young centre half in the Premier League now, I think for me would be the hardest position for any player to play again. Any position in the Premier League would be a centre half. I think the quality of the centre forwards you have to come up against most weeks are really difficult and varying. So I think Declan's done well. I think he's still got a long way to go, and I think he could still be a central midfield player, or he could be a central defender. Young Josh is one of the best boys to have around. He's fantastic around the training ground, long with bits. He's shown bits of why he's a footballer, and if we get the right opportunity, we'll try and use him. At this moment in time, we're in the heat of battle at the moment. I just don't feel it's the right opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed my time here, but I want to make sure that I do the job that I came to do, which is to make sure first and foremost we're a Premier League team, and I'm sure we will be, but we'll still get the work to do. And I think it's given me a chance to see the club, it's given me a chance to see the supporters, it's given you a chance to see me as well. So come the end of the season, we'll all have a view on it, I've no doubt. And but at this present time, I've got to say I've really enjoyed it. I've got to say the players have been great, they really have. And you know, whatever we've asked them to do, they've done it in the main, and you know, I hope we can build on it and I hope we can improve it. It's too big a club, too good a club not to be at the top end, so we've got to try and make sure that there's no point in us talking about being at the bottom. We've got to try and get a team that can be much higher than we.
Absolutely, we're all for that. Just before we wrap up, I wondered if we could get a bit of analysis here of a clip from training today, Mark. Now, I understand you do this kind of thing all the time. If we could turn our attention to the screens. And David, I wondered if you could maybe break down what we're about to see from Mark here.
I walked away.
Playing with it because it turn solitaire off. So Mark, maybe just before we see the clip, you can talk us through what you were thinking when
I just hope you switch Aaron Cresswell swearing.
Okay, here we go. Flick up. Boom. Look at that. So David, is that a regular occurrence of training?
No.
Picture the staff now, we're all walking away and just...
Yeah. Alan there, look, he's grabbed me and told me to go in.
I understand we had to mute the audio on that because Aaron Cresswell wasn't too impressed with what you just done.
Yeah. No, do you know what, right? We was just having it was for Jordan really. Jordan who he was doing a bit of shooting and me and Chris wanted to get involved. We just finished training. Sometimes it's good to have a laugh and do some shooting. And Chris told me to. Well, I told Chris I was going to flick one up and in on the volley. I didn't expect it to go like that, obviously. Do you know what? The first thing I thought of when it went in, I was running off because that was pure shock. To be honest, all the back was showing my 7-year-old son because he still believes he's better than me. You know what I mean? He don't see me score many goals, so I couldn't wait to get home and show him that one. And before I come here, we was trying to do it with him in the garden. And funny enough, we lost 3 balls.
Well, David and Mark, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment and follow me on Twitter @Flump9. Come on, you Irons.